Now, the one thing we need to remember is that it's very hard to keep up with the beauty standards because most of the women that are famous for being beautiful had plastic surgery done. We need to remember that the beauty industry changes every time. I remember being bullied in school for having freckles, and now women are literally drawing freckles on their face. I remember years ago, women would wear like long tops, or would whenever they tried on an outfit, they would ask their friend, "Does that make my like behind look big? Does it make it look too big?" Women used to hide their behinds, like having a bigger butt was not in, and now all of a sudden it's in, and women are getting even plastic surgery to get it bigger. Even thick eyebrows weren't in before. I remember girls getting bullied back in school for having thick eyebrows and not having those super thin brows that people used to have. And now, women are drawing in super thick eyebrows on their face, and again, in a few more years, we're going to continue having new beauty standards. It will keep changing over and over again. Now, people constantly come at me saying, "Your channel is shallow. Why do you always talk about looks? Why are looks so important for women? Women are also wanted for their brains and knowledge, not just beauty. Why are you pushing women to these unrealistic standards? Why are you saying women should wear heels and dresses when a woman can wear plain jeans, shirt, and some sneakers and still have a financially stable man come up to her?" Though most of these things are true, I'm gonna explain why. Sadly, as much as we don't want to accept it or we don't realize it, people treat others based on how they look. It's been like that forever. It's going to be like that forever. And of course, I'm not speaking for everybody, but the majority basically treats you based on how you look. I feel like children's shows are also an amazing example for this because whenever they have an evil character or a character that's deemed as bad, they would make that character to look a lot more ugly. For example, like the Joker from Batman. And if they want that character to look good and look more innocent, they would give them more beautiful traits, such as those Disney princesses. Like honestly, Cinderella is a great example. Cinderella is this beautiful princess. She's blonde, blue eyes, skinny, and she has those facial traits that society deems as beautiful. Yet if you look at her stepmom and stepsister, you will notice that they have the facial traits that society doesn't really like as much. A lot of people don't even realize, and I've heard so many people say, "I treat everyone the same, I treat everyone equally." But when you really look at them and how they treat human beings, you will notice that for the ones that are better looking, they treat them a lot better as compared to the ones that don't. I see this many times, where the people who took the extra time to look good they will have other people want to talk to them more, get to know them more. Maybe they will even get other people to want to be like them and offer them better opportunities. It happens all the time. A person who was always beautiful won't understand this privilege because they had it all their life. But a person that wasn't good looking and glowed up understands this privilege. Years ago, and I've mentioned this in many of my videos, I used to be a big girl. And just the treatment that I had before and the way people treated me is so completely different to what I get now. When I was a big girl, I remember always being part of those body positivity movements just to make myself feel better when deep down I hated my body. I remember being jealous of other beautiful women that did the extra work because I saw how a lot of things were easily handed over to them. I remember when I wanted to get a job, I'd work a lot harder to get it compared to now. When I wanted to, like in general, when I wanted a date, I had to prove that I was worth spending money on. I felt like I had to prove that I was worth them, wasting their time on me. And as shallow as it sounds, people who went from being big to skinny know how much of a life changer it is. And this is not me saying that being beautiful will have millionaires hand out money to you for no reason. But what I am saying is that the treatment is completely different. For example, both people can go to jail for the same crime, but the one who looks better has a higher chance to get a lower sentence. There's been study on this. Look at that, what's that guy's name? Ted Bundy or something like that? He did horrific crimes, like horrible crimes, added trauma to a lot of people's lives. But yet, when you watch his documentaries, they keep mentioning how charming, smart, good-looking he is, and they mention this multiple times. There's even other evil men out there that simply look good, and just because they look good, people feel sorry for them. Some women even obsess over them. One example, and I don't think he did a horrific crime, at least I didn't do research on it, but I remember that guy, I think his name is Jeremy Ray Meeks. So he was like super famous for his mugshot, and as soon as he like left jail, he became a model because of his mugshot. And even when he was in jail, I believe he was married or he had a girlfriend, and women would send him letters when he was in jail. He'd even receive like naked pictures of women he didn't know. Like, that is just how insane the privilege is when you're good looking. There was even this woman, I don't remember her name, but she was like known for like chopping her boyfriend's private parts off, and she completely like killed him. And she barely spent time in jail. And I strongly believe it was because of her looks. I even remember when I was reading through the news and I was reading about it, I looked at the comments and a lot of men were commenting and saying how hot she is and how they'd, definitely get with her, and how they want to like message her and get with her after she's out of jail. Like, it's sick. It's sick, but I'm not telling you go be good looking so you can like get away with these kind of things, but I'm just trying to explain to you how sick human beings are over people who are just good looking. Even Chris Brown is a great example. A lot of people in society think he's good looking, and he was known for beating up Rihanna. Women were feeling sorry for him. I remember reading comments where women were saying, oh, well, it's okay, he's good looking, well, she shouldn't have looked through his phone. Like, women were really protecting this guy. And I promise you, if Chris Brown did not look good, nobody would protect him. People would probably still haunt him for it to this day. People that look good, sadly, their look itself already creates this manipulation. They seem a lot more trustworthy, more angel-like, compared to people that don't look good. This is why good-looking people get away with a lot more crime. It's also why they get away with treating their partners like crap, and the partner still sticks around. Now, this isn't the case for every single person out there, but from what I notice, it is for most. Now, I know deep down we don't want to accept this, but there's been plenty of studies done to prove that everything I'm saying is true. I know that it's shallow, that it's wrong, but it's how it is. Even one example is this one company that I worked for many years ago. When we interviewed people to join us, we had a few that were very qualified. Actually, 3 of them were very qualified, but the boss didn't want to hire them simply because of their looks and their weight. He even said this, and I quote, "We can't hire big people. They look unhealthy and it won't represent our company well." I'm dead serious. And this wasn't a company that has anything to do with health, with sports, fitness. You literally sit on a computer all day. And trust me, this isn't just one company that does this. There are many companies out there that do this as well. A few years ago, I even got a job that involved a degree for it, which I didn't have. I had literally no knowledge about this job, and the women in the company absolutely hated me. Because not only did they already have degrees that they studied hard for, but they had to waste their time teaching me everything from the start. I had many people telling me, and this is including the workers in the company, my family, my friends, they all told me that I shouldn't have gotten that job, and that I was only hired for my looks, which I did not want to believe. I honestly was like, well, why would they hire me? Because if I don't know anything, and if I don't have that knowledge or whatever it is that they're looking for, then the company's just losing money. They wouldn't do that. Up until my boss tried to send me to one of the meetings with his clients, and it was one of the most embarrassing things ever. Like, I was only in the job for like 2 weeks, barely knew anything, and he told me that he just wants me to sit there, no need to talk. And even after I told him, listen, I don't know anything, like I don't know enough, he was like, no, it's okay, like they're not gonna ask you questions or anything, just sit there. I was like, okay. So I went and I sat there, and while the woman was, talking about the product and everything, she looks at me and she's like, so what do you think and what steps need to be done? And she starts asking me these questions. She's like, what steps need to be done? How do you think we can improve? I'm sitting there stupid. Like, I didn't even know how to answer. She literally, like, I remember just trying to say something because I can't just sit there silently, right? And I was just speaking gibberish. Like, she literally gave me the look of, like, what are you even doing here? I still remember it to this day, and it still haunts me to this day. It was so embarrassing. And listen, even though my mom always, talked to me about looks from a young age, she taught me to be feminine and dress feminine, I never listened to her and didn't care as much because I just cared more about comfort. The reason why I started wearing heels and dresses more often and claim that more women should do it is because it was a game changer for me specifically. I worked in this huge building, and beside me there was a bunch of buildings with a bunch of like offices for lawyers, businessmen, high tech, basically a bunch of successful people and successful businesses for different industries. And on my first few weeks, I pulled up with, casual clothes, and yes, people treated me nice. But the women I noticed that got that extra, special treatment were the ones wearing skirts, dresses, looked a lot more feminine than I did. They'd have men running to open the door for them. They'd had men randomly bringing them coffee in the morning or even lunch. You could tell the difference, and when I started doing it as well, I noticed the same treatment was going towards me. I didn't receive that same treatment, as definitely not even close to as much, when I was wearing comfortable clothes. Now, the reason why I even mention this is because I had this one person send me a post where a lot of women complained about one of my posts where I said that what you wear matters and hyping up about, wearing heels, dresses, skirts. Someone said they don't need none of that, they can dress casual and a rich man will approach them. I believe it's true. You must be extremely gorgeous, and clearly we're not on the same level. You probably look a lot better than I do then. Because when I dress casual, yes, I have men coming up to me, but it's never the men that I want. When I dress casual, I don't get that treatment that I want. Meanwhile, when I wear the heels, when I wear the dress, I get the treatment that I want. I get the men that I want. And I honestly don't believe that it has anything to do with the area or the country. Men are men. If you look good, they're going to approach you. But for me, personally, I've noticed that when I'm with a man and he sees me dressing casual, I get treated nice. Yes, he will call me beautiful. He will buy me food. It's not like there's a dramatic change. But when I dress up, when I have my makeup done, my hair done, my nails done, my dress on, my heels, I can see the difference. Like, I can see how big his eyes get. I can see his jaw drop. I can see that he wants to do even more for me. Like, when I'm like that, not only do I feel like a goddess, I get treated like one. Now, moving on, unfortunately, changing up my look and losing weight gained me crazy benefits that I never had before. The same benefits that I remember hating women for. Like, I remember when I saw other women receive them and I didn't, I used to hate on them. Which was not a good thing and not a good trait to have. But unfortunately, I was one of those women too. I now have like crazy opportunities. I'm telling you, I would get free hotels just to attend some club. And if I want to bring a friend, I can. All I have to do is literally send a picture of her. And if they approve and they think she looks good, she can get that free hotel as well. And we just go to the club for free. They just want pretty girls there. They literally will give us free drinks, free everything. They would let us go onto the DJ booth. And all they want us to do is to just be there. In fact, a lot of them don't even ask us to promote or anything like that. I remember before, when I would go to the bars or the clubs, I never had men offer me free drinks. They would offer my friends free drinks, but they would never offer me. And ever since I changed up my look and lost weight, now I get those free drinks. I'd have men pay just to talk to me online. I'd have men pay for dates all the time, and I never had that before. I've had men that bullied me in the past about my weight, about my look, coming back asking to take me out on a date. I've had men take me shopping, which again, I never had that when I was bigger and when I looked different. The way people treat me is completely different. The ones that disrespected me and didn't give me an opportunity they now act like it never happened. And always act too nice. The list could go on, and this isn't me encouraging women to care about looks 24/7 or to go look unrealistic and get some plastic surgery. I'm just speaking reality that women who put in the extra work to basically look good, they get the special treatment. And the women who didn't look good and then now look good, they notice it. They notice they just notice the difference. And it becomes very addicting because when you didn't have that before and now all of a sudden you have it unfortunately, you just don't want to get rid of it. It becomes, you start freaking out like, what if I age? What if I gain weight? I know women who literally starve and barely eat because they want to keep up and keep receiving these things that pretty women get, basically. Women that weren't good looking before and glowed up know when they've glowed up, and they know when they've received the privilege, because as soon as they walk in anywhere, they can see people turn heads to look at them. How men will all of a sudden offer them free things. How they'll be able to land men that will take them out shopping, traveling, etc. If you didn't receive that treatment before and now receive it, that will be the only way you'll understand what people who look less, who don't have what society deems as beautiful or what men deem as beautiful, typically deal with and have to see other women get. And I still talk to women that tell me that they never had a man take them out to dinner, pay, shopping, free drinks, and I feel for them because I remember being there too. And the sad thing is that some of us forget where we came from. For example, women who get like plastic surgeries, liposuctions. I'm going to give an example. I was at a bar with an old friend of mine that used to be obese. She was bullied about it a lot. Like, it was hard for her to land dates, and I remember how she always complained about how insecure she felt about it, and eventually she got a liposuction. And honestly, I was happy for her because you can tell how confident and happy she was from it. But whenever we would be sitting at a bar or anywhere and she'd see a bigger woman, she always felt the need to comment on it. She would be telling how, well, like, wow, she got so fat, or how could she allow herself to get so fat, how gross, how embarrassing. And to me, it's crazy. Like, honey, do you not remember that you were in that body type? In fact, you were in a worse body type for many years. You had work done. You didn't do that hard work, which is like, look, I have no problem with women getting work done. I have no problem with women getting a liposuction. Everyone has their own reason on why they do things and whatever. But why are you saying they should be working out to lose weight when you never did that in the first place? And that goes like the exact same towards women who have, their breasts done. How could you be making fun of women who don't have breasts when you literally got yours done and you didn't have any either? Or the women who got their butt done and then saying, how could other women not do squats? How could you be walking around with a flat butt? Like, are you kidding? Now, another problem that was created, and this is personal, but I don't believe in male friends because almost all of them ask me out for dates, try to sleep with me, and everyone has their own opinion on what a friend is, but in my opinion, if you want to see me naked, want to date me, sleep with me, you obviously don't see me as somebody that's just a friend. I even had this one guy that I was super close with. We'd hang out a lot. Like, it was me, him, and this other girl. Let's just call him John. We'll call her, I don't know, Sarah. So back in the uni days, we'd hang out, and John never let me pay for anything. Like, we never dated, never slept together. Every time it was the three of us, he'd always be like, oh no, I got it, whenever it came to paying. Like, whenever I didn't even feel good, for example, he'd run to the store and buy me anything I asked for. I never received this kind of treatment back then when I did have like guy friends when I was bigger. Like, they treated me like an actual friend, like they didn't expect something from me. They didn't try to take me out on dates or do anything like that. It's only once I changed up my look and lost weight that's when like everything changed. And this John guy, I'm telling you, I noticed that he'd never pay for Sarah. Even if all three of us hung out at the same restaurant, he would basically let her pay, but when it came to me, everything that I ordered, he'd pay for. Obviously, he did this in the hopes of receiving something out of it, and sadly, a lot of men work this way. Like, if you look good, you receive much better treatment than the ones that don't. And as much as men want to say, like, I don't care about looks, and it's all about personality, John said the same thing. But I can see, the treatment is a bit different between me and Sarah. And there's obviously other disadvantages of being attractive, like having other women being jealous of you, gossiping about you, trying to make up stories about you to make you look bad. Women not wanting you to be around because you'll attract attention, not wanting you to ever meet their man because they think that you're going to attract his attention, being overly sexualized and harassed by men. And also, like, some don't even get taken seriously. Like, if you look good, some people will automatically just be like, oh, well, she's probably stupid. Like, she probably only has looks and stuff. Or whenever you try to be taken seriously, you normally don't get taken seriously. There's a lot more. Like, the list could go on and on about the disadvantages, but that's just how it is. And Yeah. Anyways, I think I'm gonna end it here. If there's anything else you want me to add on, fix, talk about, definitely let me know. And yeah, love you all.